We start off by setting our forecasted value to 500. We then go on to prompt our user to enter the actual units sold, and if the input is equal to our forecast, then we should receive the message saying we are on forecast since forecasted units equals actual units. If we get any value other than our forecasted value, this formula here will calculate the absolute percentage forecast error and tell us the difference between the actual and the forecasted values, which will then be converted into a percentage. We go on to use a nested if statement to determine whether we over forecasted or under forecasted our values, and if it's greater than 10%. Based on that value, we will receive the message forecast error surpassed the 10% threshold, or forecast error did not surpass the 10% threshold. We then continue on to go and see if our forecast ends up being less than our actual or under forecasted, and we would receive the same statements that it surpassed the 10% threshold or it did not. One thing to remember when setting up this code was to use our 0.1 instead of 10 to ensure that we got the correct percentage value. I also learned the way that nesting works and how we nest all of our if statements to evaluate multiple conditions at one time and still keep our code simple and organized. And now that we have our code set up, I will use the example from the assignment, which was 505 units, and we should receive our message saying that we under forecasted by less than a 1% error, and the forecast error did not surpass our 10% threshold. Now if we were to use a different value, say 400, we see here that we did over forecast by 25% and we did surpass our 10% threshold. Lastly, an example of being on target should show us that we are right on forecast, and since the forecasted units are equal to the actual units, my apologies.